some rough times. He was
absolutely.
He had some bad times, and
Yeah,
he found his own way through it.
He's a wild child too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He got through that anyway.
I asked him who's the best player, Darren Lockyer or Dan Carter, and he said Dan Carter by a freckle. He said they can both kick off both feet, they can both pass, they can both kick goals, the whole bit. But he said Dan can tackle a bit better than Lockyer. He said that's the only reason why I picked Dan.
Did you ever play against him? In the
Thorny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
For Broncos?
Yeah. He was a Bronx, I was a Bulldogs.
Was he a tough bugger?
Mate, the size he is now, he was that at 15.
Really?
Oh, we called him Thunderbird Thorn. So.
The other thing, Steve, that interests me, is that if you take the toughness of the game, is State of Origin actually tougher than international?
Yeah.
And that's because you...
No, not necessarily tougher. It's a little bit different. It
seems to have different rules.
It's the fastest game. It's the fastest game I've ever played. Origin. Yeah. It is tough, but Test matches are tough. It's a little bit slower in a Test match, but it's tough because
more pressure
of the historics of it and what it means to be up against an opposing country, particularly the Trans-Tasman Test. They're really tough. But Origin is the game you want to test yourself in. You want to represent your country, and it is the most daring achievement you can have in any person's career to represent your country. But I'd say the highlight for me is to play Origin at Suncorp for Queensland.
Just come back, because we don't want to hold you up too long, but just coming back with the current Warriors setup. I know you probably you're not there at trainings and all things, but having three teams in the grand finals, the under-20 side winning back-to-back titles. There's obviously a lot of good young talent. From the outside, are you confident at the way the Warriors are set up now, and also with Ivan Cleary going and Blue McLennan coming in? Yeah,
absolutely. The club made a decision a few years ago to be a development club instead of a recruitment club. Okay. And the 20s came in around the same time. So every kid in that 20 side and the previous 20 sides are all Kiwi kids, which is very important. Now, we get 5 or 6 that come through to our first grade squad, and we go through the names that are there currently: Ben Madalino, Russell Packer, and all of these guys who are superstars of our team currently. Yes. And the thing that I love about our club so much, and I go around to schools and go around to communities, is that young New Zealand kids can look up to our boys, and parents are not concerned about it because they're beautiful blokes in the way of their ethics and their qualities and how they go about things, and they can play rugby league as well, and they play it fair and hard. Now, there's not a lot of clubs in Australia that can vouch for that. We haven't had any issues off the field in the last 5 years, except for one this year, which was seen as not to have gone any further. And that's a lot of hard work. You got 25 to 30 young men, as well as our 20s, who are young men, who enjoy being young men, but they understand what it is to represent the Warriors brand and to be a Warrior.
So do you think being a development club rather than a recruitment club, that must have held them back, surely, because we've got lots of talented Kiwis playing for Australian sides. I mean, the Warriors seem to have performed better, dare I say it, since the number of Australians playing for the Warriors has increased because they're the professional players. So, probably what I'm trying to ask is, for it to be successful, there's got to be a mix, doesn't it? We can't front up with 22 or 20, how many? It's got 20, every Saturday with just Kiwis.
No,
nor should we either.
You know what? At the end of the day, if you can and that's your best team, I don't care what nationality they are. I mean, if they're from Eskimo, they're Eskimos, you put them in the side if they're the best. The thing about it is that when we became a recruitment club, the best of New Zealand were choosing to go to a Sydney club before they'd go to the Warriors. It was like a last resort. Now it's changed. Okay. Now they want to play for the Warriors, and if they don't get the Warriors, then they'll go somewhere else, which is a huge swing. Yeah. So we're getting the best of the best instead of the best of the rest. It's a huge swing.
Mate, as I said, we don't want to hold you up too much longer. Life after league has obviously been pretty good to you. I mean, you get around a bit, doing a bit of sponsorship and things, and obviously talking at specialist events, and we're just saying...
I don't know what you're going to do with your MBA.
Yeah, so... the whole thing of doing footy for so long and all that, and I didn't really know what I was going to do straight up, but I've done my masters, and I do want to be the boss of a big corporate one day. Mm-hmm. But I wanted this transition period, so leverage a little bit of what I've done over many years, get a bit of a taste of business from not necessarily outsider, but half tasting inside without going to work from 7 to 7 every day. so I can still spend a bit of time with the family while they're still young. And once they start to move on and do their own stuff, then I'll be doing me 70,
So what age
80,
is the
90
children,
hours.
Steve?
15-year-old daughter, 13-year-old daughter, and a 10-year-old son.
So
5
you
years.
wouldn't want to rip them out of school and take them back to Australia at this stage of their development, would you?
No, well, that's going to be the struggle. My wife's doing her teaching degree. She's got 3 years to go. And at the end of that 3 years, then we'll refocus on what's going on. So my eldest will be done. Second one won't be far off, and my little bloke will be in high school. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But we will go back to Australia at some stage, whether I'm in a box or just on a plane going back to live there.
But, well, heck, do you not...
I've got to ask you, the croaky voice, the raspy voice, mate.
Yeah.
You, Darren Lockyer.
I've had it fixed, you know.
Smoking.
Is it just yelling at your teammates, or too many swinging arms around the throat, or what's the story?
Well, rugby union have cauliflower ears, we have throats.
All right, fair enough.
It's an area that's not protected. So you get an elbow or a shoulder, and probably not as much these days as what it was when we started out. You know, all those guys you're talking about were in 90s. And the tackles around then were a lot higher than what they are now. Mm-hmm. You're a lot more protected now. So even Thorny was playing in the 90s with us.
Yeah, he's got the voice.
You know, he's got the voice. There's me, Lockie, Jason Smith, Gary Larson, all around that sort of 80s, 90s, 2000, late 2000s, or 2000 and sort of 5 onwards, not as much because the injuries, like you're not getting whacks there as much because you get penalised straight away now.
Yep.
And the tackling styles change as well because it's all about the wrestle now.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just take the head off and don't worry about them, you know. So unfortunately, I was one of the ones who got whacked a couple of times, and I've actually had some surgery that was to fix it. And this is
I'm glad result.
It worked. Yeah. So
it would have been a bugger.
Anyway, some people like it, some don't.
Yeah, no, mate.
I don't.
Well, no,
don't change
I understand that some bloke got sent off in a league game because he tackled with his arm bent. Yeah, so that's you tackle it with a straight arm.
Well, Sonny got 10 minutes for tackling properly.
But he missed it. But he missed him, didn't he? Yeah. Wasn't that awful? How embarrassing.
He's an athlete too, isn't he, mate?
He's one of my favourites, Sonny, and you know he's done some things that we don't all agree with at times, but I love his company. I loved being his teammate. He was very tough to play against. He is a phenomenal athlete, and I really do hope that he makes decisions that are best for him. Yeah. And that are going to make him the best, you know, because he is the best in my eyes. He's done phenomenal things in all sports, and I know he'll have his people that, you know, give it to him every now and then, but we all do, and, you know, sometimes it's the things we do that make it even more highlighted, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's a good boy.
Mate, listen, we'll let you go get ready for tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries.
Talking to you. And
no one will notice that it's Saturday morning. You just said, let them get ready for tonight, Swanee.
No, mate, I've already told everybody. No,
I just thought it's just mere detail.
Yeah, mate.
He's on top of it.
We'll do it again on Saturday night, eh? Tonight.
Yeah, well, you could stay over and you could speak at the Ngāti Kahungunu Sports Awards as well.
Stacey's here tomorrow.
I think you got the little general.
Yeah.
Oh,
the little big
Homeland.
and
the little big general.
Timapara George.
Oh, good combo.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. They're about the same size.
Shorties, yeah.
They had to get someone under.
Make sure you get a step ladder for him to be able to talk to him.
Yeah. Hey, mate, again, just absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Awesome. Good to meet you.
And thanks for the career and good luck for the future, mate.
Thank you, mate.